Morning, everyone. How are you? Hope all is well. It's not raining, so you know it's a good day here in Oregon. Give me just a sec for the computer to catch up. Looks like it's good. All right, what are we talking about today? Viewer request on different ways to color in flower shapes. So that's what we'll be doing today. And I am using this set here, which is Z4688, the Friendship Daisy stamp in thin cuts. If it's got a Z, it's probably a thin cut, and then the stamp set, okay? And I'm also using for words, happy birthday, you deserve it all, Z4640, okay? I'm using some oxide inks today, as requested. I've got some mowed lawn, mustard seed, spice marmalade, photo finish, and then later today I'm going to be playing with, for a bonus card, in kind of maybe a Valentine's theme. I'll list them later. Alright, I'm also using black and mocha ink today, and a little bit of water. I've already got my blocks, or my stamps on my blocks, and I'm also definitely going to use a little masking tape for when I die cut. Hold it down, and I wanted to show you a couple of cards with some other ideas, but not what we're using today. So here's a simple card, and you may have seen it if you were here at open house, and it's just using grape and lagoon ink, a little bit of metallic marker to color that in. So there's a quick and easy way to do some coloring with flowers. The next card uses markers, and these fun new stencils that we have, which I might show you next week, some different ways to use them. And so this has been stamped on with black ink and then colored in with our markers. And a little bit of that white right there is a jelly roller pen in the white. You can also see maybe that it's a few other places. Okay, so for today, I already have some of what I played with, so I thought I'd start with that again. Now this, can you see that? Yes. This color right here is a retired color, and I think it may have gone bad. I didn't like the look. I wanted kind of a two-tone look and a two-tone look. But if you don't have two greens, I'll show you how you can get a two-tone look without two greens. Okay? All right. Let me see down here. Oh, one other item that I used was the dots in the black and white, which is Z4634. And you get like 3 sheets of these. You can see I've already used them. That card will be coming up later. All right, so okay, I'm deciding on what to do. Let's get this one out of the way. I also have a sticky note here, and that's just for this ink stays wet a little bit longer. It's much easier to blend. I am using what I would call level 1 sponge, which is this one, versus level 2. So, a little bit about sponges. This is a very soft, flat sponge. This is a denser, rounded sponge. Hopefully you can see the difference of those. So this would be level 1, this would be level 2, and level 3 would be, and I'm sorry, it's not one of ours. I had this before we had ours. Let me grab ours. Are so silky soft. They even say close to my heart on them. And they are blending brushes 4572. Okay? And this would be the best of what Close to My Heart has right now. Those two are sponges. This one is more of a brush. Think of maybe a makeup brush. Okay? Just fine little bristles, which makes it super easy to blend. Okay? The oxide inks give you a little bit more time because they're a hybrid ink, kind of a not quite embossing ink, but not a standard dye-based ink that dries quickly. Enough said about that. All right, where's my green? So I'm going to open up the green, and these lids just sit on there, so it's nice because then you got a place to put your brush. All right, ink it up, like all of blending, you've got to get some ink on the surface, but these are much more forgiving, even with this level 1 sponge, as I'm calling it. So I'm just going to start slow because I don't want a big old circle. And you can see where these do not blend as nicely. I'm just getting some color on the paper. So the next pass, starting in a different spot, will be much more blended. The more ink you get on there, the easier it is to blend out those little boo-boos, if you will. So I'm just going to kind of go over, and you can see I'm just kind of following this area here. I'm going to put a little bit more there, and then I'm going to leave some to fade out. So it's very light and dark, which is what you want when you need some two-tone. And I can go in here and make it a little darker on this end. And that's basically all you need to do. Now, if you want to do the oxide distress part of it, you need some water. And I would do this now before you do your stamping, okay? My hands are going to get very dirty. The other thing is I have a little washcloth here, pardon that, that says Distress Oxide in it. So try and keep your Distress Oxide ink cleanup different than your regular ink, dye-based ink. And I know that this is my dye-based ink because it has my chamois on here, okay? So that's just a quick reference for me. So I'm going to take and put some on my fingers. This is just water, because I want that oxidation to be small rather than big spots like over here if I had just sprayed it, which I just dropped on some more water from my finger, and that's what you get. So you just drop it as much as you want. And I like that this paper this ink kind of turns blue. And if you've got a big spot and you don't want it to do anymore, then just tap it and it'll kind of stop that process. The other thing you need to do is probably dry it. So a little heat tool and a little drying before we get going any further. Just like so. It doesn't take too long, maybe just a smidge more than that. And why am I getting all this? All of this. Oh, I must have a light that's shining down. Let's see. Maybe you can see it better there, but you can see all these little spots that are so cool to then place your dyes on wherever you want. See, I want that big spot. And I make sure I hold it down with some tape. And I'll get that little big spot in there. So let's see. I'm going to do that one there. I'll be right back. It's off camera and I don't want to jiggle the whole area and make you sick. So I'm just going to run that through and show you what it looks like. So see, we've got just some definition and texture in it, and then we can go and stamp it and put it on our card. So that's kind of how you can, if you don't have two colors, and if you have two colors, you just, mix them up. It doesn't mean you have to wet it and oxide it. You can just have the straight color if you want. You could also put shimmer brush on it if you want it. Shake up your shimmer brush. I don't have my spray box, and hopefully, let's see. Pardon me a minute. I just thought of this. Let's cover those up in case it sprays all over. And I need something kind of strong to hit it with. And this is a pretty old one that doesn't have much in it. Look at that. Now it does. But we're just going to put some of that on. I mean, it's just, try what you have. See what it looks like, right? So that's kind of a pretty splat right there that we can just let run. Or let's try and dab it off a bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm also going to take my paper towel since I did all that and just make sure that we're not leaving too much of that shimmer around and clean our surface. put that out of the way. So how pretty would that be? Let's do another one. I gotta see what that looks like. Let's do the one with the stem. We'll get some of those dots in there. Take that down, be right back. And I'm just putting it through the close to my heart thin cut. So let's see if you can see that. Hopefully, turn my camera a little more so I can see bigger. No, not that one. This one. There we go. So hopefully you can see some of that shine right there. And that will be very pretty. That will probably have to be a girly birthday. All right, so whatever you have, try it. Maybe you add some watercolor pencil in here to define it. I don't know, whatever you want to try. All right, so let's go on to this for the flowers, and I did a couple of things. So I am using, like I said, Vintage Photo, which I believe is still current. And I've got a sponge dauber. And then Spiced Marmalade. Thank you, as always, for shopping with me. Keeps me bringing you more stuff. Okay. And that pad looks a little funny. I'm not sure if it's having issues, but seems to be about the right color. Alright, so the first thing that I did was I laid down some of this color. And you'll notice that as I'm stamping or sponging with these, some are wetter than others. So some, that's why I always maybe have, when you're first starting, a little extra scratch paper to tap them off on to see how juicy they are, okay? So I am just going, and this one is pretty much more than the green was. So it gives you quicker, easier coverage. Now this one seems to be a little drier, but it is more pigmented, so that helps too. So I have to get more ink on my sponge. And I'm always starting lightly, and as the ink leaves the sponge, then I add it a little bit darker. Okay? And I have another technique that I'm going to show you. So, and remember, see, I'm holding where it's clean, and if I get to where it's not, then I'll put my little this down, my post-it note. And then, not to say that you can't go back and, oh, I need that a little darker, or blend it in for a little different color, which would be more Sundance color. All right, so we've got that. And then we could go and cut out one of these kind of, you know, wherever you want it, right? That's one. The second one is taking some of this brown with this sponge dauber, which is a little bit bigger than what I need, but I'm just going to do a little swirl, because what I want is to put this in the middle, so that way the center of the flower, here's one that I have just stamped up on white, so I'm trying to get that center in that center, and I could actually figure out where this goes to be a little bit more accurate. Oh, that's pretty good. Kind of center that way. Let's see how good she is. Oop, that's not good. I am human. Okay, let's go cut that out. I'll be right back. There we go. So how's that? And it appears that I have some shimmer on there. I don't know where that came from. Now if you wanted to oxidize that, you could. Again, put your water on. Let's try this. I can't get a nice, I have to go really hard to get a nice spray on there. I'm just going to touch it too there. Alright, where did my ray go? Don't know, I lost my paper towel. Hold on, let me grab another one. Don't know what I did with it. Okay, it happened. So while I got some water on there, I'm just going to set this aside to dry. I'm going to clean up this a little bit. Alright, so there is what that looks like. Waiting for the camera to catch up, make sure you can see it good. We're waiting for my, let's pull it over here. Come on, move over. There we go, hopefully that's a little better. Okay, enough of that. Now, I'm going to show you something that I just kind of, this is what I mean by just think of what you want to do. And that has a lot of shimmer on it, so I'm going to turn that over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a brown spot, okay? And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to take the yellow and the stamp that I'm looking at, I don't have one stamped, is this one, okay? Oh, I do, I can show you on the card. First card. So I'm looking at, I'm going to be cutting out this one, okay? Alright, so got my yellow, and I'm just going to pull it out, you know, it's about halfway and then down. Okay, so I'm just getting some color on there. Just kind of swooped it out. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it directly on the edge, and I'm just going to kind of do kind of like a sunflower. Oh, sorry, I'm making my own petals. Hold on. Making a video. Can I call you right back? Call him on cell phone. Alright, bye. Sorry about that. I'm the only one here, so unless you want to hear it ring, I gotta answer it. Alright. So I've got some little, make sure I got enough out that way. That looks pretty good. Alright, so you can see that I've got my center, and then I added some yellow, and then I just added kind of some streaks, if you will. And let's take, and I'm not going to go like this. I just want a little bit of that because I can see from the hump right here where that's going to be. So let's go cut that out. I did pretty good. Okay, so here's our little flower, and you pretty much wouldn't even have to stamp it if you didn't want to, if you just wanted to leave it kind of organic like that and just cut out all your pieces and here we go. Just have them kind of like that, and that would be a really cute flower. And just leave it like that. But we're going to go and stamp it. So that's what I did before. So now you could do whatever. These are dry. So like I said, do your water stuff first before you do your stamping. And you can do brown, you could do yellow, I mean any neutral colors. Brown, black, you could do blue if you wanted. A dark green would be pretty. Let's do a dark green. I haven't done that yet. Let's see. How about a little bit of pine color? So because I haven't used this before and I don't want to mess those up, let's just stamp it on the bottom here and see if we like it. Not too bad. Then what am I going to do this part? I'm going to do that part brown? Yeah, I'm going maybe I'll do that. I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, why not? Okay. Give it a try. So, I'm just gonna stamp it up like normal. That looks good. And because my ink is dry, I can go to my regular ink. And then some leaves. You notice I'm leaving it, making sure that it's level and not picking it up right away. You don't have to stamp it. Okay, now what am I going to do for that? Should I do green or brown or black? I think I'll do brown. And I'm also going to pull over this one and do this one in brown since it's got that brown spot. Okay, get rid of this green. And these two. Alright. Ink it up. And we will stamp this one. Like so. Clean it off. Now this one I know has a big, it's either one or the other side, here or here, that matches up. It's not that one. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. There we go. It definitely matches up. If you're off one, it will be slightly off. It looked like it might work, and it probably would. But just take your time and get it the right way. Okay. Hopefully my head didn't get in the way too badly. Alright, there we go. So, that is, got those stamped up. Okay. And I did stamp with brown, but boy, they sure look black. Let's see. Just to make sure. Got stuff everywhere. I don't know, it looks, no, this one looks more brown. That one sure looks black, but it probably, when it dries and cures a little bit more, it'll be more brown. Alright, let's close these up because I'm done with these. And I want to show you another card. Oh, I didn't show you this one. Let's see. So if you want to do a bigger area, maybe you have a brown flower, because I didn't show you the really good one. I wanted to show you the difference. Where's my other piece of paper? Right here in front of me. That's why I can't see it. So say you wanted some yellow and brown. Let's put some yellow down. And then we'll get some brown. Go back to my yellow, add a little more, blend it into the brown. And you could stamp with that. Let's see what that looks like when you give it a little water. Give it a lot of water. Let's give it a lot of water and see what happens. Now, you don't have to do these little strips like I'm doing. It's just a little bit easier for me to handle today. You could do a whole 12 by 12 of it and just save it and punch out whatever you want. Let's get this dried so we can see what colors they change. And you can watch it dry that. Now you might get a little bit of curling. All you have to do is turn it over and dry it the other way on the back side, and that'll straighten that out for the most part. And that's just because there's nothing on this side, so this is heavier. So then it wants to tip up on this side. So look at that. That could be really pretty. Who knows what maybe I'll do the truck. Maybe I'll stamp the truck like right up here. So we have kind of the tires and stuff. That might be cool. So maybe that'll be a bonus one as well. All right. So on to these pieces we have here. Let's get rid of some of this. Got too much stuff sitting out. Come on, show it on. And then I just keep these come off, and I just keep them in a little baggie. Get rid of that. All right. And since I don't know what's left on here, it's always good to clean your mat off right away, so the next time you're working you don't get something in there you don't want in there. And I'm just going to pull this over a little bit more. If you saw my desk right now, you'd say, how can you work like that? There's just stuff everywhere. Okay, again, so we had this card, and I've got some pieces for a card, and I did do some other ones, but I think I'm going to throw in these other prettier ones, although I am going to show you that one. So you can also, where's that hole punch? Go back and hole punch. That's what all these are. So I took the lid, if you will, for holding it, so that way I can see when I'm punching and get just what I want. Okay, whether I want darker, lighter, some of the dots, some of the not dots, some of the sparkles. Oh, that'd be pretty. Some of the sparkly ones. You get the idea. Now you can do this with, this is a 1/4 inch punch. I seem to have misplaced my 1/8 inch punch. And if you guys know me, you know about my 1/8 inch punch. Okay. So all kinds of things going on there. Alright, so there's those cards. I have one more card I'm going to make. Get all these pieces off here. Here's my pieces. Oh, do one more thing, darn it. Well, I'll show you what I did on this card and then, okay. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together. Let's get our base pieces down. So I'm going to put a strip 1 by 5.5 on this end where the fold is. And then this is a 3 by 5.5 on this open end. And then this piece can go wherever you want. And it is 2 3/4 by 2.5. So technically it's supposed to go like that. But it could go anywhere. And you could turn it, and maybe we'll turn it and do it this way. Yeah, I like that. And that's the basic pattern that I pulled out of the Make It From Your Heart, Volume 4, which is just cards, just card ideas. And there you can see, and it gives you the measurements. And it comes just these chunks, and you can see these are super thick pages. That's 1 page. Hopefully you can see how thick, very durable, thicker than cardstock. And then you can add whatever colored 6 by 8 album that you want. Okay, so that's just kind of got me a card base layout. So then I also made this little piece to put my happy birthday on. And I think I will rearrange because I can. I'm using some glitter, some not. Yeah. I'm using that green that we did. Okay. But I'm just fiddling with what looks good to me. At this point, that's what you can do. Okay, kind of like that. Now this piece, I didn't like white, and I will show you the other card that I did in, this is Sundance and Mocha, and this one is Lemonade and Black, okay? And I also used those little dots that I told you about, the black and white dots. And then I also used some of my punched ones, okay? And this is that same technique that I showed you on this one with the brown and then the color going out, okay? And then this one, I didn't like the center of it, so I just punched out from the yellow colors right here and got a little bit more of the brown and just glued it on top, okay? So you can do that. I mean, it's just all what you want to do. Some of this is up, some of this is down. This one here, I just cut the leaf in half. Let me show you that. So, to put this together, not that I'm going to use it, but I just literally cut it in half, okay? Then I would put a little bit of glue, because I want to sandwich it and make one piece. So what I would do is just put a little bit of glue there, and a little bit of glue there. That way I can put it together. And then we just put it where you want. Glue that down. Oops. And glue. If you don't move it, let it get its glue going. And there's your little flower. Okay. So, I kind of like this, I kind of don't. But I'm going to do something different than this. This is just taking the yellow, or the orange, and the green, and just putting a light coat down, okay? So this one, let's do something else to it. I have a little brown Bluhm pen. I believe it's sepia color, and these are just really, really fine. Super fine. But I think it's the same, pretty good brown. So I'll get that out of the way. And I am just going to give myself a couple of lines. Now, if you can't draw a straight line, see how crooked it is? Just draw 2 lines and it kind of balances it out. I'm not really taking any time. I'm just going over it, okay? And the white just looked really stark to me. Now, you could go and add another color in there. And see how that just kind of makes it a little bit better? Hopefully you like that. And you can see that. That just kind of gives it a little bit more definition, right? And I think we should probably go around this. So I'm just going to go around this. And if you don't like the first one, you can do it again. Okay. And I'm going to keep this out because I think I'm going to add a little something more. All right. Words. Let's get our happy birthday on here. And it could be whatever words you want. Make sure they're going the right way. That always helps. Happy birthday. Clean that off. Close that up. Alright. And now I've got my nice little happy birthday that I can put wherever I think I want it to go. I think I'm going to turn this around so the yellow is more here and it's a little bit of contrast there. And I think before I do any of this, I'm going to add some lines on here. There, I like that. Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. Sorry if it's been a long video. And I think I want this right there. I'm liking that. See, I just turn it to where I like it. Since that's going over the top, we can have that go over the bottom. Do that. I don't think I need that there. It's a little too much, so we'll leave that one off. Okay. Let's get some foam tape for our flower. I have an extra piece here on my, trying to save it. This stuff says I use it way too quickly, so I'm trying to save everything. Alright, so I just cut it a little bit so that way I can cut it in half. And it goes a little further. Put some of this on here. And I need just a little bit more. I want to make sure that when it gets there, it doesn't squish down on any one side. So that's why I did that. I think I'm going to level this up a little bit. And there's actually two different thicknesses that come in the 3D foam tape. And this is a small one. So this is a little thinner. Which I'm going to put onto here. You can run a whole long piece or not. I'm going to have that flat. I'm going to have this raised up. So I'm also not raising everything, if you will, just raising some of it, which is okay. Like I said, you do you, because everybody's different. If you want to fill it in, go ahead. Be my guest. Okay, we'll save that little piece. This is a better place to save it. It doesn't stick as good as there, but anyway. Alright, so let's get some adhesive on here. And, oh, I better put this down. Let's make sure this is straight. And then I just use my grid. Line myself up. Stay still. Okay. I'm going to come in about that much. Put that there. That looks really crooked. And that looks crooked because of the lines I made. So don't get overexcited about that. Let's put that there. And then this. You want the dark yellow up there. Okay, almost done. Bear with me. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you liked it, and please, I need ideas. Maybe there's a stamp set you really want me to use. If you can make it current, that helps me. Maybe there's a product. If I have it, or I have the stamp set, I will surely show it. Or something, if there's something similar, I'll try and pull something similar. So please, give me some ideas on what to share with you. Okay, so now I'm going to use my pickup tool, which is just basically a wax stick that you sharpen. Do not sharpen it with a electric sharpener. You'll be digging out the wax because it won't sharpen anything else. So I just use a hand little one. So here's all my little pieces that I've stamped, and I usually do odd numbers and try and think of triangles. It doesn't have to be an exact measured out triangle, like so. It can be elongated. It can be fat, like this. It can be really stretched out. Kind of funky triangle. So, and then 3 to 5, I kind of like that. But let's see about putting a couple here. That would make 5. Get a couple that are got some sparkle on them. That one doesn't. Trade that one out for this one, and I got some light and dark going on. I don't like that there. Let's switch this one for there. So those two look harmonious together. And there we go. And then what I do is I just take my liquid glue and pick it up, put a dot down, kind of off the page, so you want to make sure you get enough of it. And this green one dries clear, which is really nice. And I am using my left hand, which I'm not as good at, but you know, it takes 2 hands. just want to make sure to get those kind of even. And the glue stick gives you a little time to maneuver it around. And I push it down fairly hard because, you know, you want it to stick. I don't think I'm going to do that. And there we go. Always close that up. And sometimes it will get where it just oozes out and won't stop. It's because it needs to be burped. Maybe stick a pin in it to stop it because it's got air behind the glue and it's forcing it out. So when you stick a pin in it, then it'll, you know, release that air behind it, and then it won't do that. So something to watch out for. It's only happened on my other one, which is this one, and it just would not come out. So the other thing you can do is store them upright. This one I tend to store down, and if you store them upright, you don't have that problem because the glue settles and pushes out all those air bubbles, if you will. Alright, and what else do I want to do? You could put some itty bitties. You could put any kind of sparkles that you have. Let me just see what else I have in my little stash. Let's see. Those are really old, but look at how that green is nice in there. Itty bitties are always good to add. What else? My bucket got dumped, so everything is not as lined up and orderly as I normally have it. I need to do that today, so pardon me for having to go through all of this. Here's a little different green. So then what I like to do is just put it like this so I can see, and that's too similar. So put that one away. Let's pull this one out and see what we like. Okay, so that yellow's not bad. The green's not bad. And this kind of color is not bad. Could put one of those in there. Or a yellow one. Should have had some brown ones. One way you can get, the gold might be kind of pretty since I got sparkly. I know, I'm just rambling now. Or silver might be pretty because you've got the little bit of silver going on. But what I was going to tell you is if you, you heard that little ding? That was a die hitting the floor. Do not want to lose that, so I gotta pick that up. Alright. But what you can also do is what I've done on here is take your clear ones, and maybe I want a brown, a really dark brown. So I'll go through my tri-blended markers, and this is the shades one. Oh, pick that up. This is the shades one, which is the darker of the three colors. So these are three different colors, light, medium, and dark. And we'll just go over here and color in some brown sparkles. That's why I like to get the itty bitties and regular sparkles in clear, because then with my markers, I can pretty much match it up to whatever color I want. Ooh, that's pretty. Alright, let's get something to pick those up with. I'm giving them just a second more to dry. I'll put this one away since we're not using it. And I'll show you the itty bitties as well. And they color so nicely. So here's the itty bitties. And again, I'm using the earth brown shades. And the other one would be the blend. And I'm going to push those down a little bit so they don't, so the adhesive doesn't wiggle around quite so much. And so now we can kind of mix these two. Let's see, I want one of these. This is just my piercing tool. I want one of those in there. Oops. There's one that's just sitting in the thing. And maybe I will put, and this is where you can just hover them. So you could easily, you could put them anywhere. I'm going to put one there. just save it for later. There. I like that. So we got 3, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Okay. So let me clean up my mess a little bit, and we'll stack the cards out so you can see them again. So again, just try anything. I mean, this little half one just came about because I figured, hey, let's see if this will work. So you could do circles and punch stuff out of circles. You know, you could do the sponge and make circles. All kinds of things. Just play. Take a day and a big old sheet of 12 by 12 and just play. Try all kinds of things. Okay? All right. Oh, and this little pen, I don't think it has... It's in the core catalog. There's a bunch of them. And this, again, is the sepia, but I don't have the item number. Sorry about that.
Motion detected at front door.
Oh, somebody's at the front door. Okay, let's... Hold on, I gotta let them in. I'm gonna put these here so you can see them. And I'm